How do you comp a property? Comping a property means to determine its value based on comparable sales in the neighborhood. And whether you're purchasing a primary residence, a rental, or a fix and flip project, understanding how to value a home is really important. So if you're doing a fix and flip project, this is especially important because this is how you're going to ensure that you'll make a profit. There are a ton of software, so many tools out there to learn a property's value. But today I'm going to show you how to do it manually so you really understand how to look at a neighborhood and determine a value. Before we dive into analyzing a neighborhood, I want to talk about some of the things that impact a property's value. I'm specifically talking about residential homes, single-family homes. Location, the neighborhood. As we all know, some areas are nicer than others. Some areas are going to demand higher property values than others. And particularly when I'm looking at a property and I'm trying to comp, I'm specifically going to look at properties within a 1-mile radius of the subject property. Year built. Naturally, a home that was built within the past couple of years is going to be worth more than a home that was built 50 years ago. Now, of course, that depends. It depends on a lot of factors, including how updated the home. Let's say a home was built in 1950. Okay, when was it last updated? Some homes built in 1950 were taken down to the studs and rebuilt as effectively. And so even though it still says it was a 1950s build, if it was recently completely remodeled and the plumbing and the electrical and the roof were all updated, okay, well, that would be worth something and would improve the property's value. Square footage. A home that's 4,000 square feet is naturally going to be worth more than a home that's 2,000 square feet. Usually, depending on the area, if you're looking at square footage, areas with lower land value are going to, you can really look at price per square foot. When I'm looking at a home, for example, in Los Angeles, where the land value is so high, if there's a street that's a really exciting, compelling street that everyone wants to live on, if the home is 2,000 square foot or 1,500 square feet, it may not matter, and because the majority of the value of that property is in the land as opposed to the structure. Number of bed bath count. If you're doing comparables and you're trying to understand what would this be worth, a home, and the home is 3-bedroom, 2-bath, you want to make sure you're looking at other homes in the area that are 3-bed, 2-bath. Condition, like I said earlier, is it remodeled versus original? When is the roof age? Roofs are very expensive. So if a home just got a new roof and that was a $40,000 roof, all right, well, that's going to make a difference in the property's value. So the condition of the home, how recently was it renovated, if ever? And then features, including a pool, barbecue, those sorts of things can impact a property's value. Again, this can be really location dependent. I'll go back to Los Angeles again. Very frequently, adding a pool doesn't necessarily add that much more to the property value. Again, because it's land value. People just want to live in that neighborhood. They don't necessarily care if there's a pool or not a pool. But in other areas, for example, in Palm Springs, California, which is the desert, it really does matter if that property has a pool. A pool will significantly improve a property's value. So now that we've looked at this, I want to dive into a neighborhood and let's look at a real life example. Let's say I want to buy a property in this neighborhood and I want to determine what's the right property's value. So I'm on the Zillow app now. You can use Zillow.com as well. You can use any free website to do what I'm doing. So the Zillow app here, let's toggle over to recently sold. This will change current properties for sale in the neighborhood versus the current properties that have been sold. So let's scroll down. I want no fewer than 3 bedrooms, so we'll change that toggle there. And bathrooms, I want no fewer than 2 bathrooms. So we'll change that toggle there. Scrolling down, I only want to look at homes and townhomes. I don't want to look at any of these other options. 55 plus communities, I'm going to say don't show. Square feet, I want it at least 1,000 square feet. And then I'm going to scroll down, and the most important filter you can add is last sold. So right now it is showing you all the properties that have been sold in the neighborhood for the past 3 years. We don't want to look at that much data. When you're comping, you really only want to look at properties that have been sold within the past 6 months. The market changes. It goes up, it goes down. You want a clear picture of what's the value of the property now. So I just changed it to last sold in the past 6 months. So as you can see, I'm now dwindled it down to homes that have been sold in the past 6 months in this neighborhood that are the right square footage and bed bath count. So let's look closely. Let's click on this one, 310,000. It seems that this is on the higher end of sales that have been done in the neighborhood. And we're looking at it sold for 310,000. It's 4-bedroom, 2-bath, about 1,900 square feet. And the big important thing here is that it's been completely remodeled. So we know a home in this area, about 1,900 square feet, is going to be $310,000 if it is fully renovated. So that's a good thing to keep in your brain. And you can also create a spreadsheet and map all of this out on a spreadsheet. But this is I'm just going through this with you so you can understand if you're looking quickly at a neighborhood, how you can understand if properties are well priced. So let's head over here, $275,000. This one is 2,111 square feet, so it's bigger. It's 3-bedroom, 3-bath, so it's one less bed count. But if we click into the photos, which is very important, we can see it looks to be pretty original. This property has not been updated. I don't see any updates to the kitchen, to the bathrooms, to the flooring. Oh, looks like this, the tile work may have been updated here, but it certainly isn't 2025 standards, which is the standards I'm filming this in 2025. So looks like continuing through here, all pretty original. It's in decent shape. Someone could obviously live here, but it isn't that looks like this bathroom, this vanity was replaced. Someone could live here, but it certainly isn't ARV, after repair value, 2025 standards. And it went for $275,000. So remember that previously remodeled property was $310,000. So it was significantly more. So let's look at another property. This one's for $255,000. Recently sold, $2,300. So again, bigger than that fully remodeled home. 4-bedroom, 3-bath, so it has the same bed bath count. And it sold in March. Let's take a look. This also looks to be pretty original. These are original. It looks like they tried to fake it a bit with some new cabinet hardware, but we can see this is all pretty original. Some new appliances, but it looks like that vanity may be new. Some updates, but for the most part, this property looks to be pretty original in terms of construction. Let's take a look at when this was built. We'll scroll down here and take a look. It was built in 1955. So it was built a while ago. Now let's look back here. Looks like it was listed for sale in February of 2025. It went under contract within 1 day. That means there's a lot of activity in this neighborhood. That's a good sign. And it sold nearly 30 days later. So this is a really good sign that there's competition in the area. There's a lot of activity in the area. And it sold within a month of going on the market. So when we're looking at comping, $255,000 for about 2,300 square feet, pretty much original, is good to understand if you are going to do, let's say, a fix and flip project. That's what properties are going for that are not renovated, and properties that are renovated are going for around $310,000. It's very, very important to know how to do this on your own. I can't tell you how many real estate agents have told me, oh, renovate that property and it will go for $400,000. Well, if you're looking at these numbers and you could see nothing in this neighborhood has sold for $400,000 in the past 6 months, it's unlikely that you are going to remodel and achieve a $400,000 sale price. You must understand how to look at these numbers on your own. Don't just rely on real estate agents. Everyone has good intentions, I'm sure, but you have to remember real estate agents only get paid if they make the sale. So they're going to tell you what's going to lead you down that path. So please take time to understand how to comp properties before you buy so you know what you're getting into. It's more important than ever to be financially educated. Subscribe for more clear and concise real estate investing tips.